The city of Guelph is blessed to have both the Eramosa and Speed rivers running through the heart of our city. The rivers offer beauty, character, and recreation to all residents. But like most urban rivers, garbage and debris can fall into the water and negatively affect our local environment. Today, I'm going kayaking with one of Guelph's everyday heroes, Brian McNeil, who helps clean the rivers by removing garbage and plastic pellets. I'm Dan Gibson, and these are Royal City Stories. I'm meeting Brian today at a launch area just beside the covered bridge at York Road Park. Hey Brian.
Dan, how are you now?
It's not bad, you know. Well, Brian, thanks so much for the invitation. It's great to finally meet you.
Yeah, no problem. It's a gorgeous day.
Perfect day, yeah.
Yeah, let's go get into the Eramosa River and see if we can find some river loot.
Sounds
Maybe
great.
We might even find some nurdles.
Yeah. Riverloot is the term Brian has given to his efforts to haul garbage and debris out of the rivers.
I like your little grappler there.
The Canada Arm, I call it.
Handy. We've been kayaking and collecting for about 5 or 10 minutes, and I'm already starting to fill up the back of the kayak with garbage. What is the story behind Brian McNeil out on the river picking up loot?
Well, I decided to try kayaking in this nice lazy river,
Yeah.
so I would rent the kayaks from Speed River Paddling, wonderful people over there, and I decided, after I went a couple times for some exercise and to get out in the nature. I didn't like seeing the inorganic material, the
Right.
bottles and cans and styrofoam, so I was just kind of like, it became more exercise to turn around, stop and go. I got to learn how to use the kayak better, maneuverability, so it was a kind of a fun learning experience. And also was doing good, so do good, feel good, taking the stuff out of the river that doesn't belong there. And then Speed River Paddling started giving me a discount, which is more incentive to do it more often.
Sure.
And take more stuff out. And once you get the ball rolling, it's kind of like if you see anything, you want to take it out.
You got the bug.
It doesn't belong there, right?
Yeah.
So I did that for a few years.
Great. And you've been doing this since 2013, you mentioned?
About that, yeah. That's when I first got in the water.
That's great. And everything from, we've already seen today, fishing line and a couple lures, to coffee cups, to plastic bags, to
everything.
And I know you've inspired other people to do it as well. You were telling me earlier, but you're not the only one out on the river now sometimes.
Right.
Collecting garbage is a real sort of little movement in Guelph about keeping our rivers clean, keeping them pristine. The waterfowl that we've seen today is really impressive. We've already seen some herons, we've seen lots of ducks. I've seen lots of fish in the river, so excellent work. Why don't we continue down the river and see what else we can find? A lot of apples, eh?
Yep.
You never know that you are kayaking in the middle of a small to medium-sized city in southern Ontario right now. You hear a little bit of noise, but other than that, we're all by ourselves out here. It's great.
This river has gone through a lot of changes over the last few hundred years, for sure.
Yeah.
And you can actually check that out through, I think it's at the Guelph Public Library. They got archived photos of the transition of the river, and you can see some black and white photos of this exact spot right here in the river, just full of debris, railroad ties, all sorts of stuff. And yeah, it has come a long way.
Knows I could do better. Everyone who knows me knows I could do better.
As we paddle further down the Eramosa River, Brian draws my attention to something else that doesn't belong. Something that's been a central focus of his efforts in raising awareness and inspiring others to keep Guelph rivers clean.
So this is a couple kitchen strainer scoops of what appears to be, just organic debris and algae from a spot in the river that I know that these plastic pellets collect, and if I let them float and kind of separate, you can really notice these little tiny plastic pellets or resin beads, but the scientific term for these is called nurdles, and they don't break down. They're the basic building block of the plastic industry. They're used in injection molding. So these things are put into hoppers and melted down, and with injection molding turned into a variety of plastic things, including the actual kitchen strainer that I'm using today. And this polyethylene boat, you'd be surprised. So these don't break down. These should not be in the environment, and I want to take them out.
Quite oftentimes we hear the word accountability, but we don't really see the follow-up. So the accountability that you've brought to upstream users, upstream industry, upstream corporations to keeping this section of the river clean. Thanks to your stewardship and your efforts, we've really had a positive outcome.
Yes.
And that's terrific news.
So after a few hours of hunting for Riverloot, Brian and I head back to shore with our haul.
Buddy, pleasure to meet you today, honestly.
Thanks
That
for
was
coming.
great. I learned a lot. I'm really appreciative of what you're doing on the river, and I think the rest of the city will too.
Thanks for coming on out, and you can follow me at #Riverloot on Facebook and Instagram at river.loot.
If you know an everyday hero in Guelph, we want to hear from you. Submit your show ideas to ideas@royalcitystories.ca. Remember to like and subscribe to us on YouTube and follow us on Facebook. Coming soon on Royal City Stories, I visit restaurateurs Jared and Mickey Farrell to hear the story of how they decided that Guelph was the place to open their crafty ramen noodle shop in our wonderful downtown. I tour the Spring Mill Distillery with my friend Adam Stewart from Chestnut Park West Realty. Proprietor Cooper Sleeman shares with us about the history of the building, as well as what secret they found buried under the floor of the Ward Bar. I'll also be taking a bus tour with the city's Deputy CAO of Public Services, Colleen Clack, where we visit various sites across town and visit our everyday heroes.